Max here. I'm with Christina from IGN Latin America and Phil and Ollie from Ghost Town Games showing off Overcooked 2.
Yeah,
Oh man, this is a dream come true for a lot of people. I think we've got a trailer here we want to show off. Can you guys tell us a little bit about what's new in Overcooked 2?
Right, what is new? So the big new thing that we're adding to Overcooked 2 is online multiplayer. It was the #1 thing we were asked for by the fans of the game. In addition to that, we're introducing lots of new mechanics, lots of new recipes, lots of new chefs. We're basically building on the original game and adding all the features that we wanted to add, but we were just a small 2-person team with the first game around. This time we're working with Team 17, and they've helped to sort of expand that game and just add all the things we really wanted to add to the game.
Cool. Now, obviously, that like Team 17 is a perfect fit for that because they have the same, I feel like, very quirky sense of humor. How did that partnership come about?
Well, we worked with them on publishing the first game, but in the first game it was entirely just them handling sort of communications and marketing type stuff. And on this game we wanted to do more features and add all the stuff we was missing. So we needed more people, particularly to do online multiplayer. We needed a lot more programmers and we needed artists to do polish the game up. So we just moved into a more collaborative sharing the development, and I hope that the game is now reflects that. It's got much more content, many more levels, many more chefs, many more recipes and mechanics, so we can kind of make a premium version of it to make a bigger, more impressive thing.
Why did you take so long? To make a sequel?
To make a sequel? Well, we actually started working on it about the time we'd finished the Switch release for the original game, and I don't know. It wasn't really. Why would you say it took so long?
It was. I mean, it's a much bigger game, I think, and online multiplayer is a lot harder to do. So there was a lot more, and the way we work is always to try and make the game, make the levels, and then put it in front of players and see how it goes. Because we very much believe in having playtesting and then going back and redesigning the levels to make sure that it's as good as it can be. Because so much of gaming, and particularly local multiplayer game, is psychological, and you have to do these kind of almost scientific trials to work out the best ways you can get people to work together, because our games have always been trying to get people to gel together as a group. So we're trying to get that.
Now, so much of Overcooked, the sort of the hectic mayhem of ordering people around and trying to coordinate, and there's that local multiplayer side to it. How did you adapt that for online?
There's a couple of differences. Sorry, do you want to say this?
No.
Okay, so yeah, there's a couple of differences. We've added some emotes and things so that people can communicate very quickly and easily. But also we've tried to sort of, in some ways, sort of focus the levels on a single story. That was definitely something we were trying to do in the first game. We've, over the course of making that, worked out what it takes to make an Overcooked level and get down to the idea that there is a sort of singular thing that you need to solve in some way.
That's it. It's not like completely disparate things so that other people are doing things that are completely independent. There's more of a core message so that you can focus your team a lot more. If that makes sense.
What can you tell us about the new dynamics besides throwing the fruit?
So throwing was something that, again, we really wanted to add to the original game, and we sort of played around with it, but we never could get it to feel right or work in the way we wanted to. So sadly, we sort of ran out of time. And it was something that when we were speaking to Team 17 and we were kicking around ideas in the early development, they really leapt at, and they were really keen on trying to make it work. So we sort of stripped it back to basics, and we were coming at it from different angles. So what we've ended up with is that you can throw raw ingredients, but you can't throw things like the plates and the pans. So you have this kind of strategy that you need to employ in levels, which is okay, I'm going to throw you an ingredient, you're going to plate it up, and then you have to come around and pass it back to me. So there's a little bit more strategy involved.
Yeah.
Now, we just saw some sushi being made. What other kinds of cuisine are you playing around with this time around?
So we've got sushi, which is new. We've got the recipes from the original game, and we've got pasta. We've got cake baking.
We've got pancakes.
Pancakes.
We've got steamed buns. We've got sushi
buns
as well. Sushi's a new one.
Yeah. And I can't remember.
Chicken nuggets.
There's
chips.
a number
There's a lot
of
new
recipes.
New characters?
Lots of new characters as well. Yeah, we've got a lot of returning old favorites. So we have Raccoon Chef and we have Cat Chef, but we also have some new ones in there. So we've actually got 5 new chefs that you can get as part of the pre-order. So if you pre-order the game, you get access to what we're calling the Too Many Cooks bundle, which contains 5 new chefs, including there's a monkey chef in there.
Monkey is an alien. There's my favorite, which is the unicorn with
the
sunglasses.
unicorn chef, which is superb. There's lots of new chefs.
Now, tell us a little bit about this stage here.
Okay, so this is one of our dynamic levels.
Right.
So dynamic levels are ones that as you play them, they kind of develop and change. So it's not the same kitchen at the start, at the end rather, as it is in the start. So in this one, you can see you're sort of above a canyon, but the canyon is very slowly filling with water. So as they're playing through it, to begin with, they're making burritos. It's all going fine. They've got pots that are boiling the rice. They've got meat at the top that they're cooking. You can see the water sort of rises up. And gradually what will happen is that will cause the platform in the middle to sort of break away and float down a river. So we've got a few of these dynamic levels throughout the game that just try and keep you on your toes and encourage you to cooperate in a way that you maybe didn't have to in the first game.
I love the. There's really no limit to how ridiculous you can get with this game. Like you kind of did yourselves a favor by allowing, you're not really dealing with a lot of realism here.
Yeah, no. We try to make that clear from the beginning as well. It's this. We're not making a simulated cooking game. We're definitely making a cooking game where anything can happen and you're going to be disrupted and chaos is going to ensue.
Can you tell us some new types of chaos aside from this incredibly unsafe?
So we have travelators, which are on the ground, which will cause you to either speed up or slow down depending on which direction you're going. We have portals, which means you can sort of teleport from one side of the level to the other, or you can throw food from one side to the other through the portal.
We have fire.
Fire, which now can spread onto the ground, and that sort of causes a barrier that you have to grab the fire extinguisher and put out so you can actually get through.
Platforms you can control.
Moving platforms, yeah, it's another thing. So it's like a switch that you can go up to, and you can actually move part of the level around. We do lots of things like that.
Is it exclusive?
Oh, go ahead.
Is it exclusive to Nintendo Switch?
No. It's coming out on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Windows PC. It's going to be on Steam and Switch as well.
And it's online on all platforms.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, I was. Oh God, what was I going to say? I totally spaced out here. Are you sort of? Do you have to kind of stop yourselves from adding stuff to this, in case there's going to be an Overcooked 3? Or are there ideas you're kicking around where you're like, let's sit on this one because you've sort of portioned this well.
There's always new ideas. That's the thing. Every time you introduce one, you get something else that comes out. But you're like, oh, but maybe if we took that and we sort of expanded it, we could add this extra bit. So this is never this feeling of like, oh, that's everything. That's what we wanted to get into the game. There's always a feeling of like,
we've still got ideas. We're still thinking about like things we could do. We could add to the game as we go on.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot you could do with the sort of basic setup of these recipes to disrupt players and add new elements.
I think that was what was great about developing this game was that we had the base game sort of complete. We had this nice playing field in which we could then build new mechanics and add new toys and new features. It's just, it's really nice to have that playground to play with.
Yeah, you're not throwing the whole thing out. This is sort of like a super Overcooked almost.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
So, can you talk a little bit more about what else is going into it? Obviously, the core systems have stayed the same. Have there been any minor tweaks to the sort of the little basic parts?
So the scoring, for example. We found that there was a lot of people that would do slightly smaller orders and they'd get them out as quickly as possible. So we've adjusted things so that you maybe get less points for orders that you can produce, you can put together more quickly. But also, if you do them in the order that people have ordered them from the restaurant, then you can build up a combo, and that means you can get higher and higher scores. So it means that you have to pay attention more to the order in which the recipes come in.
Yeah. Cool. And let's see. Is it still just 4 players at once?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Okay. 1 to 4 players throughout the whole game.
Have you experimented at all with having more than that, or is that just insanity?
We did. Yeah. Very early on, we had like an 8-player version of it that we tried to play, but it was absolute chaos, and it just was not something that we could really.
It's very difficult given how much space there is on screen to get 4 players working. Yeah. It's something we did at convention a couple of times.
That sounds well. You know what they say: too many cooks spoils the broth. How would you rate yourselves as cooks in real life?
I think I've got better over developing Overcooked, which is weird because the game teaches you absolutely nothing about cooking. I think.
Yeah.
Or teaches you all the wrong things.
I am very structured when it comes to cooking. I like to get all my ingredients out, everything measured. I like to do the whole sort of, if I'm doing on like a kids' TV show or a cooking show, you got everything in little pots and you're adding them in like that. But I think I learned from Overcooked. It's like that's how I play the game.
It takes like 3 hours.
Everything. It does take a long time.
So let's see. Tell us about this stage here.
Okay, so this is the portal mechanic that I was talking about before. This is in a wizarding school. So the idea is that these cabinets turn around and you can go through the portal and you'll teleport up to the top through the sort of looking glass style one.
You can see there's a timing element to it. You coming through, and then you have to make sure that you're landing securely on one side.
So you have to keep an eye on which side of the level it's on when you pop out. And then eventually some stairs will come in that will allow you to...
This is also an example of our pancake recipe.
What's your favorite stage?
Favorite stage? What's your
Favorite
favorite stage? There's one later on in the game which involves the fire that spreads out, and it's kind of like creates a maze. This temporary maze. So you get these fire obstacles that are in the way, and you need to constantly be passing the fire extinguisher between each other to sort of unblock the path so that you can get through and deliver the orders.
How would you compare game development to cooking? Because there's similar kind of approaches there, but
I mean, I think the cooperation part of this game is very much how we've tried to develop the game in this way. So, there's always something for everyone to do at once, and you're trying to sort of agree amongst yourselves that the course of what we're doing makes sense. There's a lot of planning and preparation. Less fire. There's less fire.
I just love the sort of the fact that you two do have your fair amount of cooperation going into making this game about frantic cooperation and assembling ingredients.
It was especially difficult with the first game because there was only the two of us, so it helped actually having more than two people so we could test four-player, for example.
Awesome. Well, Overcooked 2 is looking fantastic, and obviously people are hungry for more, so thank you guys for coming by.
Thank you very much
for having us.
Back to you.